Chris Glenn had been battling kidney stones for over 2 decades. It wasn't just a rare occurrence, but an annual challenge that seemed to always catch him off guard. Every year, at least once, he'd find himself at the doctor's office, doubled over in excruciating pain. He described the feeling as the worst kind of discomfort: sharp, cramping, and nauseating. Kidney stones in their most painful form aren't just a matter of passing a stone, they're a life-altering experience. It's probably the worst pain you can have. It's like a cramp that goes into your flank, and when that stone moves, it can make you feel nauseous, Chris explained. The pain from kidney stones is often so intense that people will do anything to avoid it. The stones themselves start forming in the kidney, but they only become a problem when they begin to move. When these stones travel down into the bladder, they can cause intense discomfort, especially if they get stuck along the way. Some stones are small enough to pass naturally, while others become lodged, requiring medical intervention. That's when many people like Chris turn to a medical procedure called lithotripsy. But what exactly is lithotripsy, and why has it become such a popular option for people suffering from kidney stones? Let's take a closer look. Certainly. Here is the first part of the expanded body section, written in a narrative and engaging style with medical insights, making it both informative and relatable. This part will set the stage for a deep dive into kidney stones, their causes, symptoms, and treatments. Chris Glenn, a man in his late 40s, had lived with kidney stones for as long as he could remember. For 20 years, they had been an unwelcome guest in his life, showing up like clockwork, at least once every year. It was a condition that no one ever wished for, and certainly Chris never did. Yet, despite all his efforts to manage it, kidney stones continued to plague him, causing him sharp, excruciating pain that often felt unbearable. One day in his early 30s, Chris felt an all-too-familiar twinge in his side. It started as a dull ache, but within moments it transformed into sharp cramping. The pain shot through his body like a lightning bolt, radiating from his lower back all the way down to his groin. He froze, holding his breath as he tried to make sense of what was happening. This wasn't just a bad backache or muscle strain. No, this was the unmistakable feeling of a kidney stone beginning its painful journey through his ureter, a narrow tube that connects the kidney to the bladder. Chris had been here before, and it always meant one thing: he was about to go through hell. But this time, something felt different. As the pain intensified, he couldn't help but feel a wave of anxiety. What if it didn't pass this time? What if this was larger than the ones he'd dealt with before? His mind raced as he recalled the many doctor's visits, the long hours spent in the emergency room, and the number of times he'd been told surgery was an option, yet never the preferred solution. At that moment, his thoughts were interrupted by the sound of his wife, Sarah, calling from the other room. She'd known about his kidney stones for years and had witnessed his suffering. But this time, Sarah was different. She wasn't just worried, she was determined. Determined to find a way to help Chris manage his condition better, to prevent the endless cycle of pain and hospital visits. "I've been reading about a new treatment," Sarah said, walking into the living room with her phone in hand. "It's called lithotripsy. It uses shock waves to break up the stones before they cause too much damage. The results look promising. What do you think?" Chris paused. The idea of shock waves might sound a little out of place for a kidney stone treatment, but the more Sarah explained, the more it made sense. Lithotripsy was a procedure where high-energy shock waves are directed at kidney stones to break them into smaller pieces, allowing them to pass through the urinary system more easily. Chris had heard of it before, but had never considered it for his condition. He was always told to drink plenty of fluids, maybe change his diet, and wait it out. But now, with a stone causing excruciating pain, the thought of a non-invasive procedure that could potentially offer relief seemed like a lifeline. "Let's look into it more," Chris said, wiping sweat from his brow. "I can't keep doing this." This time, he knew he needed a solution that could provide relief without causing more harm to his body. Over the years, Chris had tried numerous treatments, from the usual advice to stay hydrated and adjust his diet, to more extreme measures like surgery. Yet each solution seemed like a temporary fix, and the problem would always return. But the thing about kidney stones is that they are not a one-size-fits-all problem. For some, they are a one-time issue that never comes back. For others, Like Chris, they are an ongoing battle, with each passing year bringing new challenges. But Chris was determined not to let this painful condition define his life. Now let's dive deeper into what actually happens when a kidney stone forms and why it's such a challenge to eliminate. Kidney stones, for those who have never experienced them, are small, hard deposits of minerals and salts that form inside your kidneys. They can range in size from a grain of sand to a golf ball. And while most people think of them as just a small inconvenience, they can actually cause severe pain and even kidney damage if not properly managed. The formation of kidney stones begins when urine becomes concentrated with minerals that, over time, form crystals. In Chris's case, the most common type of stone he dealt with was calcium oxalate. In fact, calcium oxalate stones are the most common type of kidney stone, making up around 59% of all cases. So, what causes these stones to form in the first place? There are several factors at play here, and understanding them can help individuals like Chris, and potentially you, find ways to prevent or manage kidney stones more effectively. Risk factors for kidney stones. Dehydration. One of the leading causes of kidney stones is dehydration. When you don't drink enough fluids, your urine becomes more concentrated, which increases the risk of crystal formation. The American Urological Association recommends that those prone to kidney stones drink at least 2.5 liters of fluid per day to help prevent stone formation. Dietary factors. High salt diets are another major contributor. Excessive sodium in the diet can increase calcium levels in urine, leading to the formation of stones. Additionally, foods rich in oxalates, such as spinach, beets, and nuts, can contribute to the formation of calcium oxalate stones. Metabolic disorders. Some people have metabolic disorders that make them more prone to kidney stones. For example, conditions like hypercalciuria, excess calcium in the urine, or hyperoxaluria, excess oxalate in the urine, can significantly increase the likelihood of stone formation. Obesity. Obesity has been shown to increase the risk of kidney stones by altering how the body processes certain minerals. Studies suggest that obese individuals are more likely to have high calcium levels in their urine, which can contribute to stone formation. Family history. Genetics also play a role in kidney stone formation. If someone in your family has had kidney stones, you may be more likely to develop them as well. Symptoms and diagnosis. The symptoms of kidney stones can vary depending on the size and location of the stone. Smaller stones may pass through the urinary system with minimal discomfort, while larger stones can become lodged in the ureter, causing severe pain. This is known as renal colic and is often described as one of the most excruciating pains a person can experience. Other symptoms include blood in the urine, hematuria, painful urination, frequent urge to urinate, especially if the stone is near the bladder, nausea and vomiting, pain in the lower back, side, or groin. In Chris's case, the pain often came in waves, and he could feel it radiating through his back and into his lower abdomen. Every year, he'd go through the same cycle: pain, doctor visits, and waiting for the stone to either pass or be surgically removed. But now, with the possibility of lithotripsy, he saw a new path forward, a path that didn't involve more invasive procedures. What is lithotripsy? Lithotripsy is a non-invasive procedure that uses high-energy shock waves to break up kidney stones into smaller pieces, which can then be passed out of the body through urine. This procedure is often recommended for stones that are too large to pass naturally or those that cause significant pain or blockage. The beauty of lithotripsy is that it doesn't require any incisions or surgery. Instead, the shock waves are directed at the kidney stones, where they break them apart into small fragments. These fragments are then small enough to pass through the ureter and into the bladder, where they are excreted from the body. For Chris, lithotripsy became a game changer. While the procedure itself might sound daunting, it was less invasive and far less painful than surgery. The results were noticeable immediately, and after just a few days, the pain was gone. His kidney stones had been reduced to smaller fragments, making it much easier for his body to expel them. The takeaway: kidney stones are a painful and often recurring condition, but there are several ways to manage and prevent them. Whether it's through hydration, dietary changes, or advanced procedures like lithotripsy, there are options available to those who suffer from this condition. Chris's story is a reminder that even when faced with a lifelong challenge like kidney stones, there is always hope for relief. For those dealing with kidney stones, don't lose heart. By understanding the risk factors, symptoms, and treatment options, you can take control of your health and find the best solutions for your situation. Don't wait, act now. If you or someone you know is struggling with kidney stones, take the time to explore the options available. Consult with a healthcare professional, stay hydrated, and make those dietary changes that can reduce your risk. Whether it's through surgery, lithotripsy, or home remedies, the goal is to find a solution that works best for you. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. Thousands of people, like Chris, have found relief from kidney stones. And with the right treatment plan, you can too. Certainly. Let's continue expanding the body section and further deepen the connection with the audience. I'll continue from where we left off. Chris had been through it all, from the excruciating pain that made him break into a cold sweat to the endless trips to the doctor's office. He had become all too familiar with kidney stones. Yet, for the first time in years, he felt hope. Lithotripsy had given him a way out, a non-invasive procedure that didn't involve the same invasive surgeries he had faced in the past. But beyond the technology, the real takeaway was understanding the role he could play in preventing kidney stones from forming again. After Chris's lithotripsy procedure, things began to settle. His doctor, Dr. Barnes, had explained that the recovery would be relatively easy compared to the many surgical alternatives. But what really made a difference for Chris was the shift in his mindset. No longer was he helplessly waiting for the next kidney stone to come. Instead, he was taking charge of his health by following a regimen to prevent kidney stones from coming back. Dr. Barnes had been crystal clear. Chris, it's not just about dealing with kidney stones once they arrive. It's about creating an environment in your body where they don't form in the first place. You need to make some lifestyle changes to support your kidneys and ensure this doesn't become a chronic issue. Chris began his journey with something simple: hydration. While it might sound trivial, the importance of hydration in preventing kidney stones cannot be overstated. Chris had learned that most kidney stones form because of dehydration and reduced urine volume. When the kidneys don't receive enough fluid, the minerals in the urine become concentrated and form crystals that can eventually turn into stones. Dr. Barnes had recommended that Chris drink at least 2.5 liters of water a day, an amount that is often overlooked by many but essential for kidney health. By consistently staying hydrated, Chris started to see a difference, not just in his kidney health, but in his overall energy levels. His body no longer felt sluggish, and he was able to maintain better physical health, which made it easier to stay active and enjoy life. But hydration wasn't the only thing. Chris also focused on his diet. Like many people, he had consumed foods high in oxalates unknowingly for years. While oxalates are naturally present in many plant-based foods, when consumed in excess, they can combine with calcium in the kidneys, forming calcium oxalate stones. Spinach, beets, and nuts, foods that Chris had often enjoyed, were on the list of high oxalate foods. Chris learned that moderation was key. He didn't have to eliminate these foods completely, but could instead pair them with foods rich in calcium to reduce the chance of stones forming. Dr. Barnes had recommended combining calcium-rich foods, such as dairy or leafy greens, with oxalate-rich foods to help bind the oxalates in the digestive system before they reach the kidneys. This was a small but important change that Chris made, and it worked. His kidney stones were less frequent, and his body seemed to be functioning better. However, the most profound shift in Chris's health came when he learned about citrate. Citrate is a compound that plays a critical role in preventing kidney stones. It prevents the calcium from binding with oxalates to form crystals. Without enough citrate in the urine, the risk of kidney stones increases significantly. Lemons were the secret weapon. As Dr. Barnes explained, lemon juice is rich in citrate. It was simple. By adding fresh lemon juice to his daily routine, Chris could help neutralize the acidic conditions in his kidneys and prevent stone formation. Even though lemons contain citric acid, they have an alkalizing effect on the body once metabolized. So instead of turning to expensive medications or supplements, Chris found a natural, affordable, and effective way to support his kidney health. Every morning he squeezed a fresh lemon into a glass of water, sipping it slowly to keep his urine levels high in citrate. The benefits of this simple habit were immediately noticeable. Chris felt more energized, his urinary tract health improved, and most importantly, he had fewer kidney stone episodes. This small but mighty change in his routine became an essential part of his lifestyle. Dr. Barnes also stressed the importance of avoiding excessive animal protein. While animal protein is an essential part of a balanced diet, consuming too much can increase the acidity of the urine, which increases the risk of kidney stones. By making some adjustments to his diet, like replacing some animal proteins with plant-based options and focusing on healthy fats like those from olive oil and avocados, Chris was able to support his kidneys even further. It was a shift in mindset, embracing balance rather than extremes. As weeks passed, Chris began to feel more confident about his health. He felt empowered, knowing that he was doing everything possible to take care of his kidneys. The pain that once seemed inevitable now felt like a distant memory. He had embraced a healthier lifestyle, one that not only prevented kidney stones, but also promoted overall well-being. Chris's story is not unique. Millions of people struggle with kidney stones every year, and like him, they search for answers. But the real key to success lies in taking control, adopting small but impactful lifestyle changes, and not waiting for the next stone to form before seeking help. Whether through diet, hydration, or cutting-edge treatments like lithotripsy, there is hope. Chris's story is a testament to the power of knowledge, small habits, and taking proactive steps toward health. He is not alone. You too can change the course of your kidney health by learning the facts, making informed decisions, and implementing healthy habits into your daily routine. Let's summarize the journey that Chris took to regain control over his kidney health and avoid the pain and complications of kidney stones. It all started with understanding the importance of hydration, the risks of a high oxalate diet, and the power of citrate in preventing stone formation. By incorporating simple changes into his daily routine, such as drinking lemon juice, staying hydrated, and moderating high oxalate foods, Chris took proactive steps to keep his kidneys healthy. The key lesson here is that kidney stones don't have to define your life. By taking control, you can reduce the likelihood of kidney stones, manage them effectively when they occur, and prevent them from returning. Just as Chris learned, even small adjustments can have a significant impact on your health. Don't wait for pain to strike again. Start today by making informed choices to protect your kidneys. If you've struggled with kidney stones or know someone who has, it's time to act. Hydrate, adjust your diet, and embrace the power of citrate. With these simple steps, you can lower your risk of kidney stones and improve your overall well-being. You're not alone in this journey. Thousands of people have found relief through lifestyle changes, and with the right support and information, you can too. Remember, each step you take toward a healthier lifestyle is a victory. Whether it's a small change in your diet or a new habit like drinking lemon water, it all counts. Take charge of your kidney health today, because you're worth it. Don't wait until the pain returns. Make these changes now and feel the difference. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with friends and family who may benefit from this information. Join the conversation in the comments below. Let us know your experiences with kidney stones or ask any questions you may have. Let's create a community of support and knowledge, one where we can all share our stories and learn from each other. Thank you for watching, and take care of yourself.